This is Mrs. Carter. I just wanted to give you a run through of our most important buttons. You're always going to start your screen with announcements for our class. So of course I've got one video so far for you, and this will be our second one. Let's see, staff information. If you click on that, you're going to get my email and my phone number, so please contact me anytime that you need anything. Course information is going to have the syllabus, the weekly schedule, and if you scroll down just a little bit, it's going to have your discussion board guidelines. Be very, very familiar with these three things because these aren't really things in a college level class that the professor goes over with you. We just expect that you know those. Course schedule is going to be every single assignment that you're expected to do. So, moving on, course documents. This is going to be where you're going to find lectures, chapter notes, readings outside of course content. If you're going to find each week that I have tons and tons and tons of readings. These are readings that if you just want to do them just for funsies, they are there for you. And I have study guides for exams. And in this summer class, you will not have any essays because it's a fast-paced class as it is without the essays. Let's see, moving on, assignments. You are going to have weekly folders, so you're going to click into History, Summer History 106 folders and assignments. Now, if you'll notice right here, and let me click to where you can see, this is going to, let me show you your view. This is what your view shows. So basically, for each week, you are going to have 2 chapters. So did you notice this says week 1, chapters 1 and 2? So chapter 1, resources and assignments, chapter 2, resources and assignments. Let's click on one. So chapter 1, you've got a quiz. I've given you a tutorial for how to read Hakluyt and Debray, and then some additional readings. Okay, so here are 3 additional readings that I'd like for you to do, and that will help with some of your understandings. So going back, let's scroll all the way back down. Right here, I've got a blog assignment. We're going to talk about that here in a few minutes when we get to that button, but I just wanted to let you know it's right here, and we're going to kind of ease into that, but that's just a super quick piece of information. Now, I want you to see really quickly that this is week 1. We have 8 weeks. Normally, I teach a 16-week course. We've got 8, so that means that we have to do 2 chapters. So during week 1, I'm going to do chapters 1 and 2. So go down here and click on chapter 2, resources and assignments. Okay, remember I said something about that blog? Here's a little bit more information about it. Okay, then you have a quiz for chapter 2, and then you've got some additional readings and video. So all of these things will be assigned. Now, if you go back to that course schedule I mentioned, that brings us to the next step. So yes, you've got to do the readings. Yes, you've got to take the quizzes. The meat and potatoes of this course, where we get to really hash and rehash all of our content and learn things and have lots and lots and lots of fun, is in the discussion board. So right now it looks like all of our discussions are showing. I may change that to where you can't quite see them all. Now, if you want to get a good head start on week 1 and do chapter 1, chapter 2, and then go ahead and start on chapter 3 for week 2, that's great. I would never stop you from working ahead if it's feasibly possible. And in fact, email me if the week you need is not currently showing. So anyway, for chapter 1 discussion, this discussion board is just a little bit different because I try to give you lots of options. Okay, look at all of those options. If you read through the discussion board guidelines, you're only required to post 4 times. Okay, so I recommend that you try to spread it out as much as possible. So don't post 4 times in slavery. Don't post 4 times in Roanoke. Don't post 4 times introducing yourself. Okay, so try to spread them out. But I do want to point out right here that I would really, really appreciate an introduction. If you don't do it, I'd really like for you to go back and do that. So make sure you do this one and then 3 others, and there are your 4 posts for chapter 1. Are we done yet? No, it's an 8-week class. So if I go back to the discussion board, if you look down here, it says week 1, chapter 1. Got that. Week 1, chapter 2. So we're still on week 1. So I'm going to click on chapter 2. And I did 1 more of those required. I don't do very many of those, but I am going to ask that everybody talk about plagiarism just to make sure that we're all fairly good on that one. I've got an extra credit. Do not get bogged down by this. It's pretty in-depth, and not every student is going to feel comfortable with it. That's why it's extra credit. You've got all of these others to choose from. I will need 4 total posts from Chapter 2, 4 total posts from Chapter 1, 8 total posts for week 1. All right, so that's the gist of the discussion board. To see about how long they should be and the word count and all that good stuff, grammar, plagiarism, then go to the discussion board guidelines. Okay, so now History 106 blog. I like to do some extra writings, mostly because to learn history, that's how historians do it. They're either reading scholarly material or writing scholarly material. You don't really learn as much on History Channel as we all wish, because on most given weeks, if you pull up the History Channel, then it's Ancient Aliens and Pawn Stars. And really, that's not going to teach any history. So how do we learn history? We read it and we write it. So I'm going to try to keep the writings fairly minimal. I'm going to do something different. So that means we're all on the learning curve. So we are going to do a blog. So I've given a tutorial, and it's probably posted in week 2's assignment section. Here is all of the information, and I have a different post for this, but this is just how you do it. And then once you want to go in and add, then you're just going to click on create a blog entry. So anyway, that's about it. Your next, once you understand what you're doing and then it's time for you to actually do the work, you're just going to click create blog entry and start typing. That's it. So, and you can save it as a draft if you're not ready to publish, or you can post it. Either way, it's going to be a learning curve for all of us. So please just email me as much as possible. I think those are the biggest tools that we are going to use for this course. Probably the grade book I haven't really looked at lately. Sometimes grades post twice, or grade columns are empty and they post twice. So I'll be looking over those in the next few days. But shoot me an email or give me a call if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your week off.